Shout out to VHS Archive. What a legend. But it looks like we have the timestamps, the origins of Nick Fuentes, Daily Wire's efforts to destroy Nick Fuentes. Give me a break. Why Fuentes decided to challenge the conservative establishment. Right. Why did Fuentes attack Joe Kent? Identity politics. Why did Nick Fuentes attack Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is Fuentes a Fed? What does Fuentes actually believe? Spoiler, nothing. Fuentes' dinner with Ye and Donald Trump. The assassination attempt on Fuentes. Okay, so we're just like we're just doing the Fuentes shill post. Because again, like the assassination attempt on Fuentes. You mean the one where his door was locked and he shot his neighbor and went in the neighbor's basement and he lived up the street? Why is political violence in America rising? Why Fuentes hates weed and alcohol. Wow, that's a hot take. How porn is destroying men. Does he talk about how he's addicted to tranny porn? I'm going to assume no. Toxic feminism and what America's future looks like. So there's nothing about Ali Alexander. There's nothing about Nick Fuentes being a pedophile. There's nothing about Nick Fuentes telling his followers to enter the Capitol and not being thrown in jail. There's nothing about... sorry, I'm scrolling while I read this. There's nothing about him attempting to destroy young white people's lives, doxing people, swatting people. Interesting. Who would have thought? Who could have seen this coming? Nitterview is about half worthless. Who really needs to hear Fuentes' take on porn? Well, the whole interview is worthless. Who gives a fuck about his take on any of this shit? Why did Fuentes decide to attack Joe Kent? Like, I give a fuck. It's 2025. He attacked Joe Kent because he was mad at Joe Kent that he didn't get money. What's his take? What does he say about that?
Why would you, in an almost Joe Kent, those strike me as someone who's really interested in this topic. I'm not that interested in the Jews, but I'm very interested in the foreign policy question. Those seem like the most sincere. Those seem like the only hope of the country to get away from this destructive, really self-destructive cycle. Why attack them?
Well, in short, they attacked me first.
Oh, give me a break. And like, that's the answer? You're a serious political guy? I'm the serious political guy. I'm super serious. Why'd you attack this guy that had a chance to like do something like positive for foreign policy in America? Well, they attacked me. Well, that's not true. They just didn't give you money.
Yeah, but like, who cares?
Well, let's take Joe.
That's exactly. Who cares?
I mean, you attack me constantly. Well, and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I want to meet the guy.
You attack me first too.
No. What I'm saying is I'm not whining about it. I'm just saying like, so, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't say so because, like, take Joe Kent for
God, he's such a little rat.
instance. I supported Joe Kent. I talked to Joe Kent. I got introduced to him by Matt Brainerd. Matt Brainerd went to my conference in
What's the audio? Well,
2021. He bought a table.
Was he his campaign manager?
He was. Okay. Or he was a consultant, but he was on the campaign, yeah. And so I met Matt Brainerd. He liked me a lot. He loved my conference in February 21, which he bought a table at for his organization, Look at America. And in 2021, we, and by we, I mean my nonprofit and myself and my team, we wanted to support America First candidates in the midterms. Like you said, authentic opponents.
Me too.
Yeah, we know. And he tried to get Teal money, and he failed.
Yeah,
That's how I found Joe Kent.
Yes. And so I met a lot of the people in that sort of scene. Like Ryan Gerdusky, I know, is very supportive of Joe Kent. And other people that are more private, I don't want to name, but they put me on. Not just to Joe Kent, but Patrick Witt in Georgia, Gibbs in Michigan.
Yeah, we know. You were asking for Teal money with fucking James Bacon. I was there.
A lot of different people. And Joe Kent was one of them. And I had a phone call with Joe Kent. And I told him, I had my assistant on the phone too, who's Jewish, by the way.
Who's Jewish, by the way. Who's Jewish, by the way. His assistant, who's Jewish, by the way. Why did he include that? He's not your assistant anymore. Why did he include that? He's Jewish, by the way. Why do you include that, chat?
Joe Kent. And I told him I had my assistant on the phone too, who's Jewish, by the way. Just because I want you to know I'm cool like that. You know, I don't judge. But, so I'm on the phone with Joe, and I said, look, we support you, and we want to do everything we can to help you. We want to have my followers knock on doors for you. We want to boost your social media. Anything.
Dude, this is what I said about the Kent meet or the Teal meeting. I told you all. I told all of you this.
That you need. We want to help you. I said, and we don't even want to be publicly associated. I said, because we know that might hurt you. I said, the only thing that we ask in return is you can't disavow me if the media asks. And you can.
He wanted money.
Say whatever you need to say, but you can't disavow. And he said, yeah, I totally agree with you, because if we start disavowing each other, then we're just going to eat each other alive and the left wins. We're in agreement.
Wrong. He wanted money. Nick wanted money.
And a couple months later, Joe tweeted in support of me because I had been banned on all social media. I was on the no-fly list. So he said something on Twitter like, you know, Nick Fuentes shouldn't be banned. He should not be censored. A month after that, I put out on Twitter, I said, Joe Kent is one of the most impressive America First candidates that's running in 22. Well, fast forward a whole year later. I do my annual conference, AFPAC, in February 22. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
His annual conference that hasn't happened in 4 years.
Attends. It's we had 1,200 people, and it got a lot of media
See, like, wouldn't it be helpful if there was, I don't know, someone that knew all this lore that could call him out on his bullshit, like, every time he lies?
attention. And I'm driving home, because I'm on the no-fly list at this time. I'm driving home from Florida.
By no-fly list, do you mean not extra scrutiny, but like not allowed to fly in airplanes in the United States?
Not allowed to fly, yes.
How old were you?
I was 23.
Did you have any felony convictions?
No.
Okay. I wasn't even aware that could happen. How long were you not allowed to fly?
That's not true. See, and this is bullshit. Literally, the reason Fuentes pushed that for as long as he did was, and said it, how he set it up, the way that he set it up. He did the no-fly list thing. Michelle was trying to shill it to Tucker. Tucker did a people on the no-fly list, didn't name Fuentes. He did a segment that night about people on the no-fly list, but he didn't name Nick. And Nick's talked about that a million times. He did a segment, but he didn't name me. He didn't name me.
Airplanes in the United States.
1 year.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry, I just want to get that up.
No, yeah, it's brutal.
And you confirmed that you were not allowed to fly in airplanes?
Yes, I have the letter from the TSA, yeah. I was on a do not board list.
Again, why? Because you threatened to kill a flight attendant multiple times, like multiple times on your show.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's crazy. But so anyway, so I'm driving home.
Isn't that crazy? No one fact checks that. Like, hello, dude. This is why he doesn't go on any interview but ones that he 1,000% knows will be softball, because all the receipts are out there. It just takes longer than 3 seconds to look, and none of these people want the pushback from the Flintards.
From Florida after my conference, and I get people start texting me. Joe Ken is on Twitter, and he says, I condemn Nick Fuentes, especially his views on Israel. That's a tweet. And I texted Joe, and I said, seriously? And he texts me back, and he says, we win by addition, not subtraction. I go, well, you just subtracted me out of the movement. I said, because I don't support you anymore. He goes back for seconds. He goes on Twitter and says, Nick Fuentes and his focus on race and religion does not fit with my message of inclusive populism. Inclusive populism. That doesn't sound like authentic America first. That sounds like bullshit to me. And I don't know, I know he's your friend, but I don't know him that well.
Right.
Inclusive populism doesn't include you? Look at what is on the screen, chat. What is that? That's not a white person. That's not a fucking black person. That's not an Asian person. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at. This guy goes, I don't like inclusive populism. Well, I just heard you say racism's evil and Jewish. So what is it? What is it then? What the fuck is it? That's not a white person. Spoiler. It's like some weird mutation. His eyes are bugging out. Yeah. Look how fucking old he looks. Dude, it's a old grandma.
I'm not on the team.
Well, so my read on Joe Kent was he's totally sincere. He, like
I do too, fees out.
me, has always been committed to separating out like foreign policy views from ethnicity, not because, I mean, obviously I'm denounced as an anti-Semite every day. So I don't really care what ADL thinks of me, but my Christian faith tells me that there's no such thing as blood guilt. And virtue or sin is not inherited. It's not a feature of DNA. So every person must be assessed individually as God assesses each person individually. And that's like a foundational view. So I always thought it's great to criticize and it's question like our relationship with Israel because it's insane and it hurts us. We get nothing out of it. I completely agree with you there. But the second you're like, well, actually it's the Jews. First of all, it's against my Christian faith. Like I just don't believe that and I never will, period. And second, then it becomes a way to discredit.
So Tucker's idea of having Fuentes on is I'm going to get views by having this guy on. I genuinely don't know the thought process there. If he had like who's paying him, I don't know. But let's have Fuentes on to talk about this. But I'm going to softball. I'm going to go soft on the Jews. Is Nick going to go soft on the Jews? Because if he goes soft on the Jews, everyone's reaction to this will just be calling him, saying that he sold out. But now Tucker's, at least for now, we know that Tucker goes, I don't have anything against the Jews. So you know that half the comments are going to be Tucker. Is Nick going to fold? Tell me right now, chat. Is Fuentes going to fold also and talk about how much he loves the Jews? Probably.
That's why I was like, this guy's a Fed. I was totally convinced you were a Fed because I was like, here he's bear hugging like the one sincere guy who lost his wife in Syria thanks to these fucking crazy wars, neocon wars. And he's discredited. He's doing the David Duke. Like David Duke would always, every time I rolled out a new show, he would issue an endorsement of the show. I've never met the guy. What's that? Well, it's the Feds. Obviously, he's trying to destroy me by association. Whatever. You see the point?
Yeah, but so let me ask you this. So if I'm supporting Joe Kent, I'm David Duke bear hugging. If I attack Joe Kent, I'm attacking the only sincere America first.
I get it. I mean, I do get it. And I just want to say I love Joe Kent. I get it. Having been denounced by a lot of people, I know what that feels like. So I definitely am sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
I was denounced by someone like last night. I was hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say what her name is, but I helped her. I liked her. You know, it's like, why are you denouncing me? Why do you call me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that. I guess the two problems. But then on the other hand, like one of my favorite people in the world is Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah, I love Glenn.
Oh, what a good man. Glenn must have spent like 10
Oh, maybe is that the connection? I don't know. Nick started hanging out with all these homosexuals, like Glenn Greenwald.
years attacking me full time.
They were at the gay bar together, remember?
Tucker Carlson is da-da-da-da. And some of his criticism was correct, actually. You know, tool of the neocons, endorsing these fucking words. He was right. But he really hated me. And then when we started to agree on stuff, I was like, you know what?
The guy who sucked on black toes and got fucked in the ass. Yeah.
Not about me, I don't care. Like, I don't want personal pique or my hurt feelings to govern my behavior. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not lecturing you, I get it, but I feel like, hey, he pissed you off. It's in a campaign. He's got 19 consultants. This kid's a Nazi. Be careful of him. Like, I don't know, let it go.
Well, and I totally agree with you, by the way. And that's why I don't take it personally at all. Like, and I like you. I've said very positive things about you on my...
Really? And Tucker's gonna go, yeah,
show as well, I think. And I know, but I mean to say that...
okay, well, that's a fair... Tucker says, I don't care. I mean, hey, fair enough, I guess.
Show as well, I think. And I know, but I mean to say that my goal is America first. Right. It's not about me. It's not about my personality. It's about winning. For me.
It's... okay. How? In what way? What is winning? You wanted Donald Trump to lose. You want Gavin Newsom to win. Could someone ask him that question? Hey, let's ask him that question. I want America to win by endorsing Gavin Newsom, by endorsing the cousin fucker schizo black guy. Like, can we get one interviewer that pushes back on like anything at all? Just one that not I'm not even saying you gotta fucking go. I mean, you should go hard with all the Alexander, all the shit, but even ask that, like, that's a pretty basic bitch question, I would say. You want to put America first by you wanted Kamala to win and give 40 million migrants amnesty. That's winning to you because Donald Trump hurt your feelings. Got it.
America, you know, by winning, I mean, we want to see our vision realized. But with Joe, for me, it was very specific that he said inclusive populism. And I really didn't like that because to me, there were a lot of similar phrases at this time. Multiracial, working class.
What do you call it? Because you deny being a racialist now. So what do you call it? If it's not inclusive populism, what do you call it? Catholicism? That's it? That's your worldview? Like, that's not an America first worldview, for the record. Like, it's not.
Populism, this kind of stuff. And I said, you know, on some level, we do need to be exclusive, not inclusive. We do need to be right-wing. We do need to be Christian. We do, on some level, need to be pro-white. Not to the exclusion of everybody else, but recognizing that white people have a special heritage here as Americans. And so the reason I opposed him in 22 was not because I was mad, but it was just...
You hate white people. You hate white people.
America first cannot backslide into this kind of inclusive populism message, which I perceive to be more like GOP slap. And I'll tell you, when he ran again in 24, I did not oppose him. And I would have supported him if he had reached out or something like that. Because for me, it was very...
He didn't oppose him in 2024. He only shit-talked him constantly.
Political and professional. I wanted to impose a cost. If you disavow someone because he criticizes Israel, if you disavow someone for talking about white people and Christianity, I said, we can't let that slide because, and you understand why he did it. Like, I don't, on some level, I don't hold it against him.
He just lets him talk. The question was, why did you disavow Joe Kent? He said, because he was mean to me. Tucker said, okay, but who cares? And now he's just still bullshitting.
In the sense that all these crazy Christians and all these crazy white nationalists throw them under the bus and say, in the other direction, say, you should religion. Maybe you'll think twice next time. And
what I do think is bad, just objectively bad and destructive, is the all Jews are guilty or all anybody is guilty of anything. Because that's just like not true. And we don't believe that as Christians. I mean, my hero in life is Paul, because you call him St. Paul, Saul of Tarsus, a Pharisee, and meets Jesus and becomes this just incredible man, incredibly brave, smart, loving, like everything you want to be as a man, he was. Jew.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and God did that to him. So it's like, you can't.
Dude, this is what I'll say about this. All of the third worlders that Fuentes has built up, like, because Fuentes' goal is to try to mainstream himself as much as possible. So, because his dream, you know, he just wants to be the kids that were mean to him on the baseball diamond. They just want to be jealous, and Nick will have money and influence. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about anything, what he says, who says. He just wants to have the attention and money. It's the third world audience that he's cultivated are going to go like the Groypers are going to go, yo, W, whoa. But all these third worlders are going to hate this shit. The Jew glazing.
I think that's and I don't think it's like much.
Which is funny because, again, that's who he's been banking on. I got all these viewers from the Middle East.
Liberal bullshit, which I hate. Mm-hmm. I hate all the language that you're describing. I get why it offends you because it's code for I don't really believe what I'm saying. I have a PhD on the subject, so I know. But I also think there's like a true, not just principle, but like spiritual reality that we have to defend, which is God created every person as an individual, not as a group. No one gave birth to a community. Like, we hate that kind of thinking, right? Collectivist thinking like that. That's identity politics. That's what Dave Rubin engages in. That's why Dave is like just a child. Like, you don't pay any attention to Dave because he's like shallow. But we're not going to be that, right? Or no?
No, I completely agree with you. And, you know.
Yeah, that pro-white politics. Nick says no. We can't have pro-white politics. I'm an ambiguous test tube blob. I don't even know what the fuck I am.
Like, and not to be that guy and say that thing, but like, my best friend is a Jewish person. You know, so like, but here's my substantive disagreement, because as a Catholic, I could not agree more with you.
Yes.
In what you're saying. I love all people, even the ones that don't like us. We have to love them all, and we have to recognize that
We're required to.
yes.
Did you know that Nick loves all people? That's why he sends people to random people's houses, and he'll send his followers to graveyards to fuck with people's graves. He'll swat people. He'll tell you specifically what he said to me on the 30th stream he did in a row about me before I responded. Was he said, I'm going to torpedo this guy's life by using the anti-Jaden, the hate articles, and every time you try to get a job or you try to go to school, I'm going to have the Groyper send that to every person. We're going to continuously harass you, dox you until you change your name. Even then, we're still going to find you and let your employer know that you said this about George Floyd in college. But here he says he's against identity politics.
And we have to recognize that
We're required to.
Yes.
And he loves everybody as a Catholic.
And especially, Aquinas says the Jews are a witness people, and so they actually have special protections under the law, according to Catholic philosophy. But I guess my substantive disagreement, which I've said on the show also, is the idea that neoconservatism in Israel has nothing to do with Jewishness, Jewish identity, the Jewish religion, because clearly the state of Israel and the neocons are deeply motivated by that ethnic identity, and their allegiance to Israel proceeds from that. You know, the plan of Greater Israel, the blood and soil nationalism of Israel, it stems from this ethno-religion, which is Judaism.
Blood and soil nationalism's bad, says the spick hybrid test tube freak.
Yes. Well, this is, just BLM, the new version. This is identity politics. They're engaging in identity politics. I mean, that's just so obvious to me. But the problem in your response, I get what you're saying, but the problem in your response is it does not apply to every individual.
No, and I would never say that.
Okay. Well, I just think it's important to say that, not to kind of like dodge the accusations against you. My best friends are Jewish. Like, okay, I agree. Embarrassing, even though it's probably true. It's true in my case, actually. But whatever. But because just that principle that we're all judged as.
Why is everyone's best friends Jewish? Everyone says, I'll say I have 0 Jewish friends. I have no Jewish friends. 0. I also have 0 black friends. So just for the record, so everyone knows, my best friends are white people. They're just white people. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know why every politician, every talking head's best friends are all Jewish, but mine are not, just for the record, since everyone else's is, I guess.
Individuals by what we do, our faith, the decisions that we make, the way we live our lives, and God will judge every one of us in that way, and that's how we're supposed to judge. Like, I think that's true.
Yeah, and I totally agree. But I guess the disagreement is, you say identity politics like it's a bad thing. I think identity is reality.
Identity is reality. Absolutely. You just can't have a country of 350 million that's diverse where it's just like warring ethnicities, because then it's Rwanda soon. And, the people with the most force just kill the others. So, like, you can't have that here, right?
Yeah, but I would say specifically.
Yeah, that's why we need to quit importing and we need to deport. Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
As it pertains to, you, I think, have said it's the neocons. And I think that neoconservatism, where does it arise from? It arises from Jewish leftists who were mugged by reality when they saw the surprise attack in the Yom Kippur War.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of it, for sure. But then, like, how do you explain Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all, George W. Bush, like the Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen like be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish. Most of them are self-described Christians. And then the Christian Zionists who are, Christian Zionists. Like, what is that? And I could just say for myself, I dislike them more than anybody. Because like, what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended by that as a Christian. That's why. So I don't, like, why not? Like, I'm pissed at the neocons.
You know why I'm pissed at him? You know why I'm pissed at Ted Cruz? It's not because he says, I love Israel because of the Bible. I'm pissed at Ted Cruz because he sells out Americans and justifies it by saying, it says so in the Bible. I got to sell out America to bless Israel because it says so. I'm mad at him selling out Americans to some fucking foreign power that hates us. Like, that's why I hate it. I don't really give a fuck what he... I don't care about what his justification is. I care about the action. I care about what he's doing, which I'm opposed to, you know? But yeah, that's actually a good point, Gospel of Dorian. It's actually a very good point. Unironically, you know, that was probably the even I didn't defend that. That's actually a very good point. I just pointed out that Fuentes also was good buddies with Kevin Spacey or loved Kevin Spacey, but yeah, that's a good point. The guy that did an interview with Kevin Spacey and tried to rehabilitate him is trying to rehabilitate Fuentes. That's a fair criticism, actually.
Very pissed. I've said that a million times. I've been mad since December of 2003 when I went to Iraq. And so, like, I went and asked straightforward questions to Ted Cruz because that seemed like he was a sitting senator who's like serving for Israel by his own description.
No. Oh, Nick sees himself as Kevin Spacey?
Yeah. He seemed like a worthy target. I'm not going after MTG, who's like the most sincere person. Why am I after Ted Cruz? I don't understand.
Well, again, with Marjorie, I was a friend of hers, and she spoke at my conference, and then the day after, she pretended like she didn't know me. And that was in 2022.
But it's
So the whole interview is just him asking why Nick doesn't like people, and then Nick tells him, well, it was personal. And then Tucker goes, well, but I think we need to be like this. And then Nick goes, yep, I agree. Okay, so why didn't you like this person? It's personal. Is this it? Is this what the whole thing?
It's a continuum. Like you said yourself, you showed up in college, like one set of views, they evolve as you interact with reality, as the reality itself changes, as like you learn things, you grow, like people change.
Well, and look, now that everyone agrees with me, I will graciously forgive them for being
But why
so
make it
hostile.
personal? Like, who cares?
It's not personal for me. Like with Marjorie, if
He'll forgive every person except white people that agreed with him before he was canceled. All those people have to burn forever.
she wanted to be aligned or whatever, I would totally be on board with her.
But where do you disagree with her?
I don't know, because I don't know what her new views are. And she's really only come around on Israel this year. And I've been
He doesn't know what her new views are. What are your views? No one knows.
talking about this issue for 10 years. And
Right, okay. All right, you win. But
no,
like,
but it's not like that. It's just, it feels like BS to me that, and I've said this on Twitter the other day, it's like I got treated like I didn't exist.
Right, I get
and
it.
canceled for 10 years for saying these things. And that's really where all this drama comes from. A time when there was this intense censorship and nobody was on board with this stuff. Like,
Yeah, it came from you talking about Israel and not being like a gay cat boy fucking tranny obsessed freak that doxes and swats all your enemies. It's just because he talked about Israel, man.
again, Marjorie, she fired
Yeah, exactly, Holy Lurker. That's why we're not going to listen to the whole thing. It's the same script. Dude, it's the same podcast every time.
one of my people was working in her office. She fired that guy because someone found out that a Groyper was working in her office. And, that guy got his life ruined. And she pretended like she didn't know me and lied.
Yo, UX had his life ruined? Big if true. W Milo if true. Fuck Lance. Fuck that guy. He was literally a pedophile. Good. He should be thrown in jail.
And said, I had no idea the conference I was speaking at. She knew exactly what it was. And that's fine. But now that she's on the same page, there's like this expectation like, okay, well, why did you have a problem with her in the past? It's like because she was on the other team in the past.
yeah, well, so was everybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
so now-
so were you.
Yeah,
I mean, so
well-
what? I mean, why not? It's got to be bigger than just like us, right? And it's not, I don't think, well, I'll speak for myself. I don't feel like I'm at war with the neocons or Israel. It's much bigger than that. It's like you want to restore America to a place where your grandchildren would enjoy growing up. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and as far as
So
Marjorie,
it's not, who cares? I don't,
So this is it really, he's just like, is this it? It's just the whole thing. Tucker just going, why are you so mad? Who cares? Why are you so mad? What is this? Is this a political podcast? Is this Nick, the big brain political commentator? Or is it like someone like a older guy talking to someone like trying to give him life advice? Hey man, just let it go, bro. Hey man, why are you fighting with everyone? Just let it go, bro. Like you're talking in the park. Just let it go, man.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, lots of people hurt my, if Dave Rubin called me tonight, which he would never do, though he has my cell, and said, I'm really sorry I called you Hitler. Like, I didn't mean it. You're raising lots of legitimate questions, which I think I sort of agree with or I'm thinking about in a deeper way. I'd be like, great.
yeah.
I don't care.
And look, Tucker, that's why I'm sitting here, Right. I mean, because we had a contentious dialogue.
Well, I
for
thought you were
long
a
time.
Fed. I was
Yeah, and I
just-
thought you were a Fed.
I was a Fed. Yeah, I'm not a Fed. But whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, we showed each other our badges. We know well.
No, but I thought you were a Fed because I was like, why not? It's not cucking to say you're not talking about all Jews when you oppose a foreign policy position. It's not. There's nothing liberal about that. It's just true. That's the Christian position, okay?
No, it means you're Jewish. That's what Groypers say. You can't criticize it in any way. You're Jewish.
And two, why are you attacking like the best people and not the worst people?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, he disavowed me for my views on Israel and said I talk too much about white people and Christianity. And to me, that's like a sincere ideological disagreement. And, same thing with Marjorie. Marjorie fired my guy. She disavowed me. And, and you worked with Blumenthal on that article, but you called me on the phone. And we
Well, yeah,
talked,
I
and
mean,
we
that was
settled it.
like, from my perspective, it's also stupid and inside baseball and whatever. But just for the record, I was like, first of all, who is this kid? I'm working at Fox News. I'm aware there's an internet, but I'm more out of it than you may appreciate. And I'm like, out of nowhere, attacking this one. I had Joe Kent here to my house. I did this interview with him, and I'm always in search of a sincere politician. Not have to agree on everything, but I really believe sincerity is the whole game. If someone's heart is pure, he will be brave. I always have
And that's why we're interviewing Nick Fuentes.
thought that, and it's turned out to be true. Marjorie's a perfect example. And that's all that matters. If you're afraid inside, if you're weak inside, you will crumble when it matters. So I really felt like, wow, Joe, I don't agree with him on everything, of course, but I was like, this guy is really sincere. He's like a good person. And then you show up and you're like, he's a CIA officer, and I'm going to, he was a CIA contractor, but like really like crush the guy. And it's like, why of all people? You agree on 90% of stuff. That was my view. Right. Well, clearly this kid's a Fed.
Right, but you didn't know the whole story.
I did, absolutely right.
And look, and now that, and I want to be, I'm not trying to be combative. I think
Go
that,
ahead,
Okay, but you know the story now. What's the story? What's the story? What's the defense of J6? We still don't have a defense of J6 other than Nick going, look, they seized my bank account and then gave me the money back because it had nothing to do with January 6th. It was because I cashed out 13 and a half Bitcoin from a French foreigner who just killed himself a week ago, who happened to be a hacker.
my feelings.
no, I mean, here's what I'm trying to say is now that Marjorie is pushing in the right direction, I absolutely support everything she's saying. I've not been critical of her at all this year because I think that what she's doing is extremely courageous, and I think you're right. She is sincere.
So
He's too busy. It's because you're too busy attacking JD Vance. He's not talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene because Trump doesn't like her or whatever. He's too busy fighting with JD Vance and the other people that Trump likes. By the way, what is this shot? What the fuck is this shot? Because I'm taller. Tucker's like, I don't know, 5'10", 5'9". No, he's like 5'11", 5'10", 5'11". He's fucking, look at Nick. Little gremlin, no neck Nick. No neck Nick! He's neckless!
It sounds like you're, not to put words in your mouth, but your life experience has left you so stung by the Republican establishment, you don't trust anybody, it sounds like.
Well, no, I mean, these people attacked me when the rules were different, and now they got better, and now I'm good with them. I mean, I'm willing to be good with them, but I think that I don't know if Marjorie still has a problem with me or not.
I don't know. I do know, though, and this is the last criticism I will level, and it's maybe not even your fault, but I do know that, the coordinated attacks against totally reasonable questions about what's in America's interest and what's not, those are all coordinated by the Israeli government, because it's all come to light now. And they're against me. I've always thought I have the world's most moderate position on Israel. Don't hate Israel. Just don't want to get involved in their wars. Don't want to pay for this. Don't want to pay for abortion on demand in a foreign country. Sorry. When we're cutting food stamps on our own, that's outrageous. It's not America first. That's my view. Not embarrassed of it at all. They are totally determined to take me out. I think because I'm reasonable. Who would disagree with that? And call me all these names, most dangerous anti-Semite. I'm not even anti-Semite. And they're not doing that to you because this is my view, and it's not necessarily your fault. But because they're like, Fuentes discredits the reasonable people because he's always banging on about the Jews. And so he makes everyone else look like a Nazi. And so it's like he's playing a pretty valuable role in the same way that Israel's always funded extremism throughout the Middle East, including Hamas.
And that's why he's on the biggest podcast circuit and being shilled by GQ and being shilled by the New York Times and being shilled by this and everything else. So weird, man. It's crazy. Autism posture. Like ranked over. Oh shit. He needs one of those posture vests. Yeah, get him a fucking girdle. Keep him in place. Nick's got the Imperator Titan posture. That's funny. Hitler 2, 3, and 4 makes us look like a Nazi. He claims that he's no longer. He says that Jews are like God's chosen people or whatever, man. And if you're a Nazi, he disavows you. Not only that, but if you wear a Nazi Halloween costume, he attacks you.